Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for Alpha 4 of Update 97 of Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, I took a little bit of a diversion. I was going to work on a new toy, but I realized there were a couple things that were really important that kept getting requested, and I was like, you know what, fine, I'm just going to do this right now. And so, to start off, you might be like, oh, he's using the index controllers today. The reason for that is that I am running in Streamlined control mode, and I did a couple things to Streamlined control mode. So the first of these is that if we go ahead and pull out, let's just, I don't know, grab, there we go. Just pull out an M16 here. You will now see that we can, let's spawn lock that, pop this in, press the BY button to go into full auto, we can fire away, and if we reload, you can now hit the BY button to drop the bolt before firing. After the bolt is dropped, hitting the BY button again will cycle the fire selector as normal, but if the bolt is locked and the gun has a bolt release button that is accessible from the firing hand, it will now drop the bolt. I know plenty of you really wanted that. Yoink! What else? Oh, and the other big one, I know this has probably been the single most requested thing for Streamlined controls, and I hope this isn't too odd such that it messes up people who don't know it's here, but I don't think it should, which is that for bolt action weapons, a lot of you have been asking for a quick bolting option for this, and I have one that I think doesn't mess with the sort of core philosophy of this, which is basically that when you are grabbing it by its fore, hitting the BY button on your forward hand will pop you into quick bolting. So we can pull, let's see here, and what am I doing wrong here? There we go. Haha! I am not used to using Streamlined controls. Love those impact sounds. And obviously, I just pop it up like that because it's easier for me to do it. But you can do this in line if you're actually practiced with it. As you can see, I'm not very practiced with it. Wonderful. So hopefully that will make y'all happy and make bolt action weapons a little more effective for you, for those of you rocking Streamlined controls. Oh, I love the Delisle. Moving right along, we have, let's see, we got some new options. Let's take a look at those. So graphic quality options has been changed to graphics options to make it a little more clear. Under custom mode, one change that is under here that's important is that there is now a shadow cascades, which is broken. It's not appearing here because I didn't actually add it to the list of things that needs to be turned on in custom mode. So I will fix that. Just trust me, there'll be a new option here, and it will be for those of you who are running custom on Ultra who want more detailed shadows near you. Whoops. It's always something. I always miss something. Rearrange some things. I feel like such a dingus. So a while back, I of course added things like bullet impact sounds and hit decals under the work in progress feature options, and forgot to migrate those once they worked. So those are now under simulation options. They are on by default now. Hit decals, bullet hit sounds, max hit decals here. And you'll also notice there is a new option, player hit effect. I know this has been requested a whole bunch. So we get ourselves a testing pistol here. So obviously we have the standard hit effect. I'm just gonna shoot myself in the torso. Ouches! There is light, which is the same effect, but just way less opaque. still a flash. I don't know how much the difference between those shows up on the screen recording, but trust me, especially when getting hit by a shotgun blast, it is less intense when it's on light or sound only. So if you just want that nice splush noise when you get shot, oh, and killing ourselves. Whoops. That is now an option there. I am really sorry that it took me so long to get that in there. Cool. And then the last important thing, let's get ourselves, what do we want to use as a testing gun here? Something nice and, I don't know, high capacity. Maybe we'll, yeah, let's grab an Evo 3. It's been a while. Let's pop a suppressor on that so that we can, nice and narrow one. Oh, I am so kludgy with the Streamlined controls. It's terrible. It makes me sympathize with all new users of this game who are trying to get used to it for the first time. Let's pop a nice optic on there. Boom. Let's go say hi to our friend and nemesis, the regenerative encryption. I have continued to tweak this, and this is probably going to be the way this is going to be for the foreseeable future, especially with the tournament that I mentioned last week coming up. So I've done a couple changes. I have restored the regeneration speed of the nodes for the most part, but it still only regenerates one at a time, like so. So they come back faster again, because a lot of folks had complained I had ended up making it way too easy. However, we now have indication, sonically and visually, when you hit the center. So we see it sort of spool back up and regenerate. So if we hit this in the center, we both get hit notification. And so now you can actually see how fast it is regenerating points again without having to literally have them in view, because the flash So there we have it. So hopefully that should, I'm hoping that the fact that there's now a sort of hit indication that shows that something has transpired to the node and sort of frozen it will help people discover more organically that shooting the center is what sort of temporarily freezes the node, allowing you to take out its satellite pieces. So, beyond that, that's some firearm safety right there. Just whip the fully loaded gun at the ground, Anton. With our Sosa guns, I continued to play around with the shake reloading. Make sure that's empty. So, as you can see, I can now move this slowly, and we no longer hear any sound. It can no longer basically be reloaded from, like, little bits of tracking noise. Like, if I shake my hand slightly here, it no longer reloads it. You actually got to go like this to reload it. Also, importantly, I know some people will be like, boo! But the fact that these are now more present in take and hold means that you can no longer put large ones in tiny slots. So these Sosa guns are now actually sized just like normal guns in terms of placing them in your quick belt slots. The pistol ones will still go in pistol slots. Large ones require a larger slot, and the huge ones like the heavies, minigun and meat fortress, and the bazookas and stuff can only go over your shoulder. To better balance those. What else? There was something else. Oh, importantly, a lot of people noticed that even with the shake reloading, these were still a little too OP for a standard take and hold run. And so what I've done, in fact, let's go ahead and jump over to that scene. You will notice now in the take and hold lobby, there is now a new option under here, under item spawner, called Sosa gun reloading. By default, or I might actually reload that to like shake loading just to make it more specific. Can be disabled or enabled. Enabling it will disable global scoring. No, I mean, global scoring is disabled, period, at the moment, because I'm still working on scoring. But importantly, you can, whether or not this is enabled or disabled, you can now reload Sosa guns at the ammo consoles that you can reload regular guns and magazines at. So there is still a reason to hold on to a Sosa gun, even with this is disabled, if you need a spare or a backup weapon. It's just you're only going to, even loading at those consoles, you're going to have, the shots that are in it, and then you'll be done. So yeah. So that about does it for that. So let's jump out of VR and talk about other little bug fixes and changes. Yo! Hope you're all doing well. I hope those changes to the Streamlined controls, I know I've been a little grumpy about them just because it's one of those things that the moment that you start, input's one of those sort of topics where everyone has an opinion. Usually it's a very strong opinion, and usually the thing that they have an opinion about, they want you to change it to that immediately and will not accept any other answers. So every now and again, especially with control stuff, I hit sort of tilt when it comes to user input, and I'm like, I don't want to hear any more from anyone. And then I calm down and get some distance from it. It becomes less of a charged thing, and I can sort of go in dispassionately when no one knows I'm working on it and just do the important work for the decisions that I've made in terms of what's been prioritized. And so that's why you suddenly have this week. In addition to that, let's see. So the shadow bug I was dealing with last week, where I was changing the shadow resolution. I'm a dingus. It had been so long since I had done this. Apparently, I had the directional light in the friendly 45 scene, which, I put that in there 4 years ago or something like that, was set to a fixed resolution instead of to use the quality settings. So I was changing, the option was changing, and it was saving, and the light was ignoring it. And so that has been fixed. Also, that was the sound of my controllers turning off, not yours, just in case you're suddenly like, what, beep? So yeah, so that has now been fixed. I also slightly rotated the directional light in that scene just to make some of the targets a little more clear, and I moved a couple trees around so that the shadows weren't falling in certain specific places. What else? A couple minor bugs. Changed the cylinder release movement on the Model 10 revolver. Oh, and I changed the speed loader poses. They were for basically any Oculus platform controllers and anything using those poses, like the G2. The pose for the speed loaders was just bad. I don't know why I set them to that however long ago, but they should not be bad now. That should make revolver loading significantly easier for you folks. Yeah, and I think that is about it for this week. As I said, I have a new toy in the works for you folks, but I figured I would wait until we come out of alpha into full release, which should be fairly soon, unless there are a bunch of sort of standing bugs. Basically, what I want to do with the rest of Update 97 here, and this is pending how much energy I have this week, is I'd like to get a bunch of those things on the known issues list, like the fact that you can't change the zeroing on red dots in Streamlined mode. I just want to get those off the known issues list before moving on to, because some of that stuff, the flip sites were on there for way too long. I need to stop procrastinating, and I'm gonna finally fix and clear out that known issues list, hopefully for next week. So, anywho, I hope you all enjoy playing around. Let me know what you think of the balance changes, the way the shake reloading feels, and how this affects the take and hold meta. If I have messed for the first to worst crowd who are practicing for their tournament that's starting soon, if I messed something up that needs absolutely fixing before the tournament starts, have Putter contact me, and I will issue a hot fix to this alpha so that it's set, so that your tournament is ready to go. But yeah, otherwise I'm just going to keep working on polishing and tuning stuff for full release on this. Anywho, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all soon. Peace.